Good evening. I'm Doug McKelway in for Brett Baer. 4 volunteer firefighters were shot, 2 fatally, following a pre-dawn shootout at a massive house fire in suburban Rochester, New York. And it now appears that blaze was set as a trap. Correspondent David Lee Miller has the details. Hello, David.
Doug, authorities say a convicted killer who was paroled after serving 17 years in prison was responsible for this morning's deadly ambush that killed 2 firefighters in upstate New York just outside of Rochester. Police are still trying to figure out a motive for the rampage. A pre-dawn call to the volunteer Webster, New York Fire Department to put out this house blaze ended in tragedy. Firefighters were met with gunfire. One of the injured described the scene in a call for help to a radio dispatcher.
We are being shot at, multiple firemen down, multiple firemen shot, I am shot. I think we have assault rifles. We have multiple firemen down, working fire.
Understood. 1C32 to copy, multiple firemen down, multiple firemen shot with a working fire.
2 firefighters were killed, one of whom worked as a police officer. 2 others were seriously wounded.
This is still an active investigation, but I will say at first blush, it appears that it was a trap.
Police arrived and opened fire on the shooter. Authorities say the gunman, who took his own life, is identified as 62-year-old William Spangler. He had a criminal past.
Spangler was a convicted felon, so it doesn't, he's not allowed to possess weapons. So, did he legally possess those weapons? No. So I don't know where those weapons came from, but we're certainly going to find out.
During the rampage, an armored personnel carrier was used to evacuate residents. By the time firemen were able to respond, 7 homes had burned. Authorities say the gunman Spangler had been convicted and paroled after beating his grandmother to death with a hammer back in 1980. Tonight, authorities say his sister is unaccounted for after the fire in their home. Doug?
David Lee Miller in New York. Thank you, David.